Hello and welcome to Mountain Patriot Homestead. Please join me today as I try my hand at planting chestnuts. I do apologize for the background noise, but this is a working farm and we've got a tractor running in the background, so that's what you're hearing right now. But these are the chestnuts that I have had in the refrigerator just wet sand, moist sand that I've had in the refrigerator for several months. I had got them from a lady that lives down the road that had a chestnut tree in her yard, and she actually didn't know what they were. She didn't know what the burrs were that kept falling off these trees and laying in the yard. But I asked her if I told her what they were and asked her if I could have them, have a few of them, and she told me that I could have as many as I wanted because she wasn't going to use them. So I went out and picked up quite a few out of the yard, and I ate some, and the rest I decided I was going to try to see if I could propagate. And I put these in some damp sand in the refrigerator, and they've been in there for several months. And what I'm looking for today is just seeing if any of them have sprouted. Now, some of them may have, and some of them may have not. That first one has not. I'm not seeing anything on this one, so this is not looking good so far, folks. And I'm trying to be real gentle. Now, you may be wondering why in the world I put these in sand in the refrigerator. Well, they have to go through, chestnuts have to go through a stratification process. They have to think it's winter. Oh, well, here's something that's promising. I don't know if you can see this or not. There is a little root right there that has come out on this one, so that's a good thing. That's what I'm looking for right there, is a little root. So there is one that I will be able to try to transplant. I'm going to set these others aside that did not have anything, but I'm just trying to be real gentle as I dig through here, because I don't want to break off. If I break off that little root like that, then it will not grow. So I don't want to do any of that. So I'm just being real gentle here as I go through, and I'm hoping that I will have several of these that sprouted. I mean, it was just, I have no idea how long they had been laying out in the yard, because when I picked them up, because some of them, the burrs were already drying and things. So, a lot of different factors could have played into why some of these may not be viable. I did eat some before. Oh, here we go. Here's another one that's just peeking out, just getting a tiny little root there. So that's what I'm looking for. But I did eat a few before I planted the rest, or I'll say planted, I didn't plant them, before I stuck the rest in the refrigerator. See, that one does not. So see the difference. And I don't know if anyone else, I don't know how many of you have eaten chestnuts, but pecans and chestnuts are probably my two favorite nuts. Now that one I'd have to rinse it off, but I'm really thinking that one is trying, so I'm going to set it aside. Are my two favorite, pecans and chestnuts are my two favorite nuts. I love pecans. They are so good. And I'm back. I have picked through all the sand, and these are the chestnuts that I pulled out that have little tap roots attached. And I don't know how well you can tell it, so let me pick these up. I'm going to give them a quick rinse here just so you can see a little better. It's not necessary to do this before planting, but let me show you here the difference. This one just barely has a little bit of a root starting out, so I thought, well, I'll give it a chance. But as you can tell, this one has a nice sturdy one already coming on. So this one is looking really good and really needs to be in some dirt quickly. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to pot these up. Now, I wish I had some larger pots, but I use what I have. And I know I hear a lot of folks saying that one of the reasons they don't garden or they don't plant things is because of the expense of doing so. Well, these, you'll see these pots that I've got here. I've got a variety of pots that I'm using. But of course, I wish they were all large pots, but they're not. So I use what I've got. And when you start talking about the expense of gardening, it is just like anything else. You can make it as expensive or not as you wish to. You've got to look around. If you're trying to save, and let me stop for just a second and show you here what I'm doing. I am just, this is my fancy tools here. This is a stake that I use to stake down my garden fabric. I do use garden fabric to help with the weeding because, it just, my back doesn't like me crawling around and bending over constantly pulling weeds. So I use fabric in the garden to help with the weeds, and this is just a staple that I use to hold it down. And what I'm doing is I'm just making a little hole down in there because I do not want these little tap roots to get snapped off, because if they get snapped off, I may as well just throw it away. It's done. But I do not have to bury the entire nut. All I've got to do is make sure that taproot gets in that dirt. Just tamp it down good around it, and there you go. That's it, and that's all it takes. But what I was saying about the expense of gardening or planting anything is, yes, you can go as expensive or as inexpensive as you'd like. Just if you don't have a lot of money and can't spend a lot of money, I get that. I have been in situations where I have a lot less money than I've got today, and I've been in situations where I've had more money than I have today. But I don't like spending money unnecessarily. And these pots that I have here that I'm using today are recycled pots. And for the most part, many of these started out as being free because they were some that somebody had thrown away or had given me or just asked me, do you want these? Or ones that I had previously maybe got a plant in and I saved them, because these will last quite some time if you just, don't step on them and don't leave them out in the hot boiling sun and that sort of thing. And so your pots can be, if you want to go get designer pots, you can spend a lot of money. If you want to just get some pots that are usable like this, you can, if it'll hold dirt and you can put a drain hole in it, you can plant in it. It's not anything more special than that. This dirt that I'm using in here, it is a mixture of a little of everything. Some of it is old potting soil, but it also has mixed in dirt that I've just went back here in the woods and dug. It has compost that, you know, I've made here or maybe I've hauled in. So, I don't know if you can see that one. It has just the little start of a root on it there. But the dirt itself, you've got people that will tell you you've got to have a certain type of dirt, you got to get it out of a certain type of bag, it's got to say premium on it, it's got to be, you know, made by a certain person and blessed by whoever, and, you know, is some dirt better than others? Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, some plants like things, certain pHs, and you know, you can have your soil tested, and it is a good idea to have your soil tested, and you can get it done free in most places, especially in the U.S., by contacting your agricultural extension agency, and a lot of times they will do that for free. But when I'm just planting things like this, let me tell you how much this stuff costs. The pots are free. The chestnuts were free. The sand cost, and I've reused and reused this sand for I don't know how many different projects. But this sand was a bag of that play sand, that pre-sifted, pre-washed play sand that you get at, any of your lumber stores, your box lumber stores, your box stores. And it's just, that's all it is. It's play sand. And, but it's the pre-washed, you know, so that way if there was any salt and that sort of thing in it, it washes it out. But even if you went and got it off the beach, I guess as long as you rinse it off, you know, rinse it real good, get the salt out of it, you could probably do that too. But that whole bag of sand, it was like a, I don't know, 50-pound bag of sand. I got it for $3.47, I think that's what I paid for it when I got it, and I have used it over and over again for various projects. And so that was an expense, but you know, $3.47 for 50 pounds of sand. It may be more now, I don't know. But this dirt, I can't even begin to tell you because I haven't bought potting soil in some time. Last year I just went down in the woods. It's like I am not paying for dirt when I've got a whole woods full of dirt. So I went down in the woods and we dug up dirt and leaf mold, and I added compost to it that we had here, and you know, so pretty much out of all the different times that I've used this dirt, I would say by now it's free. And like I said, the chestnuts are free, and I believe I've mentioned in previous videos of how you can just get seeds from the grocery store if you can't afford seeds. Just get seeds, ask friends, catch things when they're $10 a pack when they're just trying to get them off the shelf. You know, you don't have to, boy, look at the root on that one. You don't have to get, you know, so-and-so's seeds because it's the best seeds ever. You know, there are some seeds that are better than other seeds, I agree. But, you know, do what you can with what you've got. You don't have to start out with the very best. And I'm telling you, here's my philosophy. This is my philosophy on gardening and planting things. To me, planting things is like raising children. You know, raising a garden is like raising children. You need to love them, but you don't need to spoil them. Because if you spoil them, they're going to be so sensitive that everything just makes them wither. And that's the way it is with plants. If I plant my garden, if I plant my plants and expect them, see, you can tell I've just dug stuff up out of the woods, that if I expect them to be strong and to carry on their own without me watching them every minute of the day, I will grow the best, biggest, strongest plants I can grow. If I have to sit there and hold an umbrella over them so they don't get too hot and, you know, spoil them every second of the day and sing to them, then, you know, that after a while is just, am I really growing what I want to grow? Well, I don't have time for all that. I really don't. And that's why I do a lot of what I call intensive gardening. I plant thickly, I plant closely, and I just expect my plants to do their best. Just like with people, just do your best. So, anyway, as you can see, I am coming down. I don't think that one I am going to, it is, I don't think I'm going to plant it because it don't look real healthy, so I'm not even going to waste dirt on it. So, got this one and one more. And I will tap them in good, make sure everybody's getting good contact. And I will get them watered in. And I'm going to leave them here in the greenhouse. Now this is there is a heater in this greenhouse, but I do not turn it on until I get seedlings that are coming up in here for my peppers and tomatoes and all of that. I won't turn that heater on until then, and then I turn it on to like 40 degrees because I only want to keep them alive. I don't expect them to grow until it starts warming up, because the temperature in this greenhouse can fluctuate. Let me see what the temperature in here right now is. The temperature in this greenhouse right now, nothing but the outside sunshine shining in, is 78 degrees is what it is. It is only in the 30s outside. So, you know, you can tell there's quite a bit of difference. But at night, it will become whatever the temperature is outside. If it's 30 degrees outside, it'll be 30 degrees in here. So the heater, I turn it, when I start using it, I keep it at 40. So that way it keeps things just above freezing, but yet they become strong. And by the time, oh, I about made a mess out of that. By the time they get ready to go outside, they are already conditioned and ready to live on their own. All right, so we have got the chestnuts out of the refrigerator, we've got them out of the sand, and we've got them into their pots. So I want to, over the next few weeks and hopefully into the future, I will keep you updated on how those chestnuts are doing. Hopefully we will end up with some good chestnut trees, and we'll get those planted and one of these days enjoy the fruits, literally, of our labor. I do appreciate you dropping by and spending time with me in the greenhouse today. I hope you come back, and if you have any comments, please leave those below. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please click that subscribe button below so you'll be notified of any future videos that come out. And if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. I love y'all. I hope you come back, and thank you so much for watching. Mountain Patriot Homestead, signing out.